jiu-jitsu animal.
What up?
What up, Brett?
Nothing. You guys?
Chilling, bro.
Am I the only one?
So
Yeah.
far, man, that means you're most important.
You're getting private, bro.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm fine.
You getting your workouts in?
You
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
bored?
No, but I just don't see how this ends anytime soon, though.
Well, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Brett, figure it out. I thought you were going to figure out a way to end it.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
Never mind, you're recording it. I was going to tell you something. I'll tell you something later.
All right.
Why do you think it's gonna end soon?
Because they can't get their shit together. Like, no one can actually tell you what the hell is real or not anymore, right? Like, so until they can do that, I don't think they're going to, open the gates, right?
Well, they opened it up in Georgia, and I talked to my buddy. He said it's like back to normal.
Yeah,
So
that's
everyone's
good.
watching Georgia to see how it works out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Said restaurants are booming and everyone's doing all their stuff again.
Yeah, that's good. I hope. Unless it turns out backfires.
Yeah,
I mean, the initial,
you gotta do something.
it's not even gonna ever hit their initial low estimates. So
Every county in Pittsburgh is eligible for phase 1 return. So
Yeah.
yeah, if we were our own state and not
including Allegheny County.
and not,
I know my work worldwide, they're not opening a single office till June 1st. And then the plan is 30% capacity.
Wow.
That's all they're going to let in any of the buildings. I mean, they're being overly cautious, right? And they can do that. So, but I mean, I don't know how it's all going to work. I just hope those antibody tests that happened in LA County and Stanford one, that they're more right than they're wrong, right? Because if that's the case, we're in a lot better shape. And that one in Burlington, Mass, or whatever, Chelsea, Mass, that one was pretty good too. That was 15 to 1 more people infected. So
Yeah, a lot of people have the antibodies. Yo, what's up, Mike? Tom DeBlass as well.
yeah, but you got to believe that the test is, that's the confusing part, right? They're saying that some of those antibody tests are crap. So how do you know if you got a good one, right?
yeah, our friend is a nurse in West Virginia, and he says that they were giving people the wrong test. They were giving people the wrong coronavirus test for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And then my buddy who's a PA up in Erie, you guys probably saw that. You probably saw that video of those 2 doctors in California posting this stuff. So he posted and said, this is not true. The Emergency Room Doctors Association, these guys don't even belong to that association. What they're telling you is a money thing so they can get back to work. And I'm like, how do you make sense? How can you make sense? Who's telling the truth?
Yeah. But none of it makes sense anymore.
No, not when I went to Walmart on Saturday and the whole parking lot was full and I was there at 8:30 in the morning. So clearly everyone's just wearing a mask.
You sound like a typical old guy, bro. You sound
I'm just saying, I'm just saying it's okay to pack Walmart with less than 500 people, but everything else is super dangerous. So I'm not arguing that I'm right or wrong. Common sense.
Everybody who works for major corporations are good. They're still good to work. It's just the people when you have the whole company behind you, you have all those antibodies already. But when you have a small business, you're much more susceptible to COVID.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say I
So,
know the answer. I'm just saying, like, some of it just doesn't logically make sense, right?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. But I was thinking we'd probably just do like a yoga routine today or whatever. Do you want to do it today? Or you want
Yeah, so what we'll do today is we're gonna go over some breathing exercises. Okay. So Noah went over a couple of these. We've been going over a couple of these the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna dive into like a little routine that I do every day, or shoot to do every day, that I feel like keeps my lungs in check and my breath under control, which is huge when when we're like rolling in jiu-jitsu. If our breath gets out of control, either by anxiety or whether we get tired and we're just breathing too heavy, that gives our opponent an advantage. So we're gonna go over a couple different breathing exercises. I'm gonna add a couple to what Noah was going over, and then from there, Noah may go over like a yoga routine. But what we're gonna talk about today is I've been studying a little bit of the Gordon Ryan passing system. Okay. And I think a huge part of passing is not only when you're in half guard. In half guard, we always teach getting that underhook, coming up on that dogfight, on the dogfight position, and then we have so many sweeps from there, and how important the underhook is. Also, if you're coming underneath to get deep half or whatever. So we're just gonna, me and Noah are just gonna go over just a couple ways to deal with the underhook on top. And just a couple of things that I've been studying, and then we'll go from there. All right. If anybody, since it's only you guys, it's only two of us or two of you guys. If you guys have any questions or anything's been on your mind lately, please let us know, and we can cover that before we cover any underhook stuff. All right. Cool. So great. So I guess we'll start with those breathing exercises. Okay. So we'll get started. All right. So we're doing these. Like our lower belly expanding, our abs kind of expanding, and then maybe even our upper chest, okay, or the top of our chest, okay. So just be conscious of that. Like when I do my breathing exercises, I go, I'm not getting a good deep breath. I'm not using what's called the diaphragm. I'm not using it to pull oxygen into my lungs. Okay. So that's always a big focus, whenever you're walking around at work and you find yourself not conscious of your breath, you always want to be conscious of your breath at all times. Okay. And again, it's good for anxiety. It's good for stress relief. It's just good, good for your blood pressure. All right. So we're going to start with a little bit of a different breath. And this breath is going to be like a rooting breath, okay? So to root ourselves to our body, okay? So this is a yogi practice. I've been trying to study a lot of that lately, and this is one that's gonna get us rooted to our body. So we're essentially three things. We're our mind, we're our body, and we're our spirit. Okay. So if we can root our mind to our body, then we can grow our spirit. Okay. So with that being said, what we're going to do, it's like I said, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a double breath. Okay. So we're going to take a big breath, like a real kind of a violent breath in, and then we're going to take a deeper breath in, and then we're going to take more of a violent breath out, and then like a short violent breath out, and then a deeper breath out. All right, so it's going to look like, and then, okay? So that's going to be the flow of it, all right? As we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to clench different parts of our body. So we're literally going to like contract different parts of our body. So we're going to start with the bottoms of our feet. We're going to do our calves.
We're going to do our quads and our hamstrings. We're going to do our butt. We're going to do our lats. We're going to do our abs. We're going to do our chest and our shoulders. And then we're going to relax, okay, in that order, all right? So I'll talk us through it, okay? So as we breathe in, we clench. As we breathe out, we relax, okay? So again, we'll start with the bottoms of our feet. So we breathe in, double breath. Breathe out. Good, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Now breathe in and clench the bottom of your feet. Breathe out. Breathe in and clench your calves. Breathe in and clench your quads. Breathe in and clench your glutes. Go breathe in and clench your abs. Breathe in and clench your lats. Breathe in and clench your chest. Breathe in and clench your arms. Big breath in. Normal breath. Big breath out. So that's just a good way to get blood kind of flowing with our breath, and also just like connect our mind with our body. You know, like how many times throughout the day you consciously contract and release each part of your being. You know, so that's a great way to again get, they call it like a rooting practice, to get rooted into your body. Okay, so now so we've done this next one before. This next one's gonna be our throat breath or obstruction breath, okay? So we sit up nice and tall, always trying to make sure that our spine is nice and in a line. And we kind of chin tuck a little bit, and then we breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth. And each way we wanna make a little bit of a snoring sound. All right, so we breathe in, out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. One more set. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Last one. In. Out. Big breath in. Out. Good. Excellent job, guys. So that was our second breath, okay? Our third breath is going to be focusing on our nostrils, Okay. So we're going to breathe in through one nostril. We're going to breathe out through the other nostril. Our next breath in, we're going to breathe in through that same nostril, and then we're going to breathe out through the other nostril. Okay. So we'll probably do 10 of these, or probably 20 total. All right. So again, we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to take our index finger and our middle finger, and we're going to put them on our forehead. We're going to use our thumb and our ring finger to close our nostrils. Okay. You can either close your nostril, or you can put your finger underneath and just block the nostril off. Okay. Either way, whichever is best for you. All right. So we breathe in through one nostril. Out through the other. In through one nostril. Out through the other. In through one nostril. Out through the other. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Last one. In. Out. In. Out. All right. Awesome, guys. Check it out a little bit. I always like carry tissue with me when I'm doing these to get like congestion out of my nose. Because our next breath is going to be entirely through our nose, and it's going to be a little tougher. All right. So I learned this one is called fire breath. Okay. So essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and out, but as fast as possible. Okay. And as full of breath as possible too. Okay? So it's a tough breath, but it's great, and you'll notice that when you do it, like we're gonna start with 50 breaths. We're gonna get through 50. We're gonna take a small break, get a couple regular breaths in. Then we're gonna do 100 breaths straight. Okay, and you'll notice through this that like you might even start to sweat a little bit. All right. And that's what we're doing. We're generating that fire in our, that fire in our bellies. We're generating that fire in our being. Okay. So I noticed when I do these a lot that when I'm rolling, I have much more control over my breath. And like me and Noah were talking the other day that like whenever you're rolling with somebody, sometimes like you'll you will hear their breath. And if my breath, if I'm breathing slower than them, like I feel that I'm winning the match. Even if I'm in bad position, just because I'm not using as much energy and I have a much bigger tank. I have a lot more energy to put out if necessary, and it's just can kind of be again reassuring if you're in a bad position, or can be like I'm gonna submit this guy this round. Like you're putting that pressure on it, that fire. Okay, so it's good breath. All right, so we'll start this breath now. All right, so I like to put my hands out, but that's just whatever. It's whatever you guys want to do. Okay, no worries there. Again, we're focusing on breathing in through our nose, out through our nose. Okay, and again, we're going to do that as fast as possible. Okay, we'll start with 50 breaths. All right, so clear your nose. Make sure you're good to go. It's also good to kind of flare your nose a little bit if you can. Really open up your nostrils. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll start with 50. So count on your own. I'm just going to say go. 50, we'll stop. We'll get a couple deep breaths together, and then we'll do 100. All right? So go ahead on your own. Relax. A couple deep breaths. Everybody doing okay?
Doing all right.
Good.
Good. So how's everybody feeling?
Good.
Good. Anyone lightheaded from that?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
All right, good. So now we'll do 100. Okay. So again, get one big breath in, big breath out, and then we'll do 100. Count on your own. Good job, guys. Good. How was that for everybody?
Different.
Yeah, it's good. It's like it's kind of tough to get used to being able to use your stomach muscles so much. Like you should kind of feel your stomach muscles almost like a little sore in a way. Like it should feel like a muscular exercise for your stomach. And then once you build those muscles, in the end, your breath will be more effortless.
How'd everybody feel with 100?
Lightheaded at all?
Yeah.
A little bit?
What about you, Brad? How'd you do, buddy?
A little bit?
I was good, except it's hard to keep my rhythm.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole point about that exercise is literally controlling your breath,
Yeah.
Like your stomach working with your inhale and your exhale and doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And you'll notice I've been doing these pretty religiously for probably a month straight. And I'm able to get more breaths each time, for me personally, I started with doing like 30 breaths and then 75 breaths and then 100 breaths. And that was really tough. And then now I'm up to doing 100 breaths, 150 breaths, and then 200 breaths straight, you know? So you just get more and more control. And like, did anybody start to perspire at all? Anybody start to sweat at all?
I could feel like warm.
Yeah.
You know, like I was warming up. Like
Yeah, like it feels like you're going for a run. That's what you're doing is you're putting that system, that respiratory you know, with us like doing jujitsu and rolling all the time, it's hard to get in, you know, a nice like couple days where you're doing like a long run, you know. But with these breathing exercises, you can wake up in the morning and right before your cup of coffee, or right after doing some like body weight exercises or something, you can get in essentially like a respiratory training session, you know.
Yeah.
So they're a great tool. The last one we're gonna do today, and it's definitely the hardest, is a breath retention. Okay. So we're gonna do similar to the fire breath we just did. We're gonna breathe in through our nostrils, and we're gonna exhale through our nostrils. But we're not gonna do it as fast. We're just gonna get full big breaths, and we're gonna do that about 30 times. After the 30th breath, we're gonna exhale, and we're gonna exhale all of our oxygen. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to hold our breath. Okay, so essentially we try to hold that for as long as we can. All right. Usually it's like 15 seconds for your first one. You know, it might even be less. Okay, because your body's gonna want to breathe as quickly as it can. Okay. If you can, try to fight it off a little bit and retain not having any oxygen in your body. Then we're gonna breathe in. And we're going to do like a full body isometric contraction, kind of like we did with the rooting breath, but we're going to do it with our whole body. So we're going to think about pushing the oxygen throughout our whole body with that contraction. And then we're going to hold our breath again, full of air. Okay. You should notice that you hold it longer, obviously, when you're full of oxygen. Okay. And when you're sitting there between on each retention, you want to really relax. Okay. So if anybody's like up on like the pop culture a little bit, this is a lot like the breath that Wim Hof is famous for. Okay, is getting a bunch of big breaths, getting a big exhale, holding your breath, and then getting a big inhale, contracting your entire body, and then holding that breath as long as you can as well. Okay, again, it's just good. You know, for me, it's like I feel it helps me relax in tough situations, you know? Like if I can sit still when I'm depriving my body of the one thing that it 100% has to have is oxygen, if I can sit still and relax while it's fighting for that breath, then it's a lot easier when no one's on top of me trying to arm triangle, you know? So it's just good to like really relax your mind and relax your body. And sometimes you'll do this and you'll actually feel like you'll feel your heart rate, you know? So you'll center yourself so much that you can feel your own heartbeat, which is a pretty cool feeling. All right. So again, we're going to do 30 breaths, just nice and full in, full out. On the 30th one, we're going to exhale completely. We're going to hold our breath for as long as we can, and then we're going to inhale. We're going to get a full inhale, as much oxygen as you can. Make sure you use your lower belly. And then after we get a full inhale, we're going to get a full body contraction. We're going to try to contract every muscle in our body for anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds. And then we're going to hold that breath for as long as we can. All right. So on your own, okay, again, sit up nice and tall, straight spine. Go ahead and start your 30 breaths. Exhale. Flat. Good job. Good job, dudes. So that's a nice little, that's a nice breath work that you can do at home if you can. You know, I try to do it every day. You know, I was lucky enough to do it with you guys today because I didn't get to practice this morning. But that's great to, you know, center your mind, center your body, and center your breath. You know, get used to, you know, breathing how we should be breathing, not, you know, big upper chest breaths, but lower abdominal breaths, you know, and, you know, get our bodies working the way they should, okay? How'd everybody feel with the breath retention?
It was different.
Yeah, the first couple of times you do it, it's going to be weird because, like I said, you know, your body's used to breathing as it needs, not having you control, you know, that oxygen, you know, when it gets oxygen and when it doesn't, you know, and it's a good tool, you know, again, strengthen your lungs and strengthen your mind too. All right. So we went over a couple different breaths. We did the rooting breath, which was like the double breath, big in, breathe big out. Okay. We went through our obstruction breath. So we went through it's like the snore in and the snore out. We went through each nostril. We went through the fire breath, breathing in and out as quickly as possible through our nostrils. And we also went through one breath retention. Practice breathing exercises as well, you know, which is excellent, and you know, you'll feel a big difference in your body if you practice these, you know. And I can definitely attest that they're great for jiu-jitsu too. You can look up Rickson Gracie, you know, one of the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioners of the time, and he's famous for doing breathing exercises and also doing a lot of yoga. And you know, like if you follow the yoga practices or any of the religions, the Hindu religion is one that's really big with yoga. And I've like when studying it, you know, they have you know, there's literally thousands of different gods that they pray to, but one main god is Shiva, and he's essentially the god of destruction and the god of creation. But really what he's credited with is being the god of rebirth, you know, because like destruction and creation are both sides of you know, rebirth essentially. But you know, like especially with jiu-jitsu, like essentially what jiu-jitsu is it's the study of us breaking down our opponent's body, you know, whether it be through strangle or whether it be through joint manipulation. You know, we're trying to either take somebody's consciousness or we're trying to break their joints, you know. So I kind of look at like practicing yoga as like the other side of the coin, as like now we're creating a strong, flexible, peaceful body as opposed to a strong body that's trying to dismantle another body, you know? So I kind of look the Tao, the yin and yang, you know, I kind of look at yoga and jiu-jitsu as very complementary with each other, as far as, you know, kind of creating, destroying, and rebirth, you know what I mean? So that's my little spiel for the day. I hope you guys can use those breathing exercises. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm studying them. I'm studying them as much as I can, and we'll go from there. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with, first of all, does anybody have any questions, any jiu-jitsu questions? They've been studying something, or they saw a move, or any questions before we get into either Noah doing some yoga or going over some underhook counters?
No, I'd like to see the underhook counters though.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
I'm good with it.
Good.
All right, cool. So we'll flip the camera around, and we're going to demonstrate a couple ways to counter the underhook. And
That's what I did. Oh, right there.
and then we'll go from there.
Like I flipped it around.
I know. I've done that 100 times. And then you really feel like an idiot. All right. So first of all, how did everybody deal with those breathing exercises?
Good.
That last one, David Blaine used something like that. He had to be able to hold his breath for 20 minutes. And that's real. That's not an illusion.
Yeah,
He held his breath for 20 minutes.
I felt like a little kid in the pool, like trying to hold my
Dude, yeah. You feel like you're drowning a little bit, 100%. So it's a great tool. I've been doing a lot of them over this like quarantine. I learned them like a year ago, and I did them like hit or miss for a while. But I decided I was gonna make it my goal to try to do them every day, and I think it's been huge for me especially. So try to do those, and I hope they help you out. Again, they're a little weird when you first start, just because like you're not that good at them. It's like anything, but you get better at them as you practice. And if you have any questions, let us know. So we're gonna start some underhook stuff. This is some stuff that I've been practicing from. I learned it from Gordon Ryan's Attacking the Guard DVD. It's been really that DVD for me has been pretty beneficial, and it's been working pretty well. And on top of that, I was thinking the other day, we always go over, the underhook from half guard and how beneficial it is, but we don't really go over how to counter it. Okay, so we're gonna go over a couple things right now. All right, so your opponent's in half guard. So first thing, and we went over this before, okay? The first thing is whenever he's coming up for an underhook, my reaction should be immediately to pummel in and get the head trap, okay? So I have a cross face and I have an underhook, okay? So that's the first thing that you should always be looking for, is if somebody comes up, I pummel inside and I get the underhook and I put him flat on his back, okay? But we can't always do that, all right? So when Noah shoots the underhook and I'm late, okay? So here it's too late for me to dig, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my like a V grip, I'm going to put it in his armpit, okay? And the reason I do this is that way he can't get shoulder deep like this, okay? So as I feel the underhook come up, I pinch it, okay? And then what I'm going to do, since he's going to be up on this side here, okay? Just like that, so he can come up into me. So I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to put my head over top, okay? And then I'm going to reach underneath and I'm going to get a near underhook.
So now I'm getting a underhook on my close side. Okay. Then I'm going to pull him into me and put him on his back. Okay. So normally I would be losing in this position if the underhook was super tight to me and he was on his side. But now I have him pinned. Now I have him pinned on his back. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'll post on my head, and I'm going to bring my other knee across just like this. So kind of like a far side knee cut. All right. So now I have a wedge. I can extract my leg, and now I'm in side control. Okay. Okay, so I go boom, 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 boom. I cut across, and then I can pull my leg out. And then if I want, I can walk his hips back the other way. And now I have a really dominant side control position. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Okay, so one more time. So he starts for the underhook. I get here. Okay, I get near side underhook. I set him flat. I come up on my head. I cut across. So essentially I'm putting a wedge. This other leg, I'm putting it across the stomach. So it's going to be hard for him to hold that now. And then I can, again, walk his hips to where his hips aren't facing me anymore. Okay? And then I'm good to go. All right, so Brett's trying it on the dummy. Perfect. So now, Brett, take your left leg across. Yes. Good. And then you would go ahead and kick through. And then, yeah, good. Okay? So that's one way that we can deal with the underhook. Okay? The next way. Okay? The next way, okay, and this is something that me and Noah learned a long, long time ago, okay, from a guy named Kenneth Brown, all right? So Kenneth was really good. Kenneth always wanted to be here. He was definitely a bottom player and a bottom half guard guy, okay? But he did a seminar one time about defending against the underhook, okay? And this was like the only other time that I'd ever learned anything that was countering the underhook. So what he liked to do, so instead of doing near underhook now, okay, which I think he's definitely stronger, now when he shoots the underhook, okay, if I can get here, that's great. I'm going to actually put my arm through. I put my other arm on the head, and I make a figure four. Okay? Like this. Okay, so he has the underhook. I dig the overhook. I put his hand on his head. I put my hand on his head, and then I reinforce. So it's kind of like a quarter Nelson, right? So if we were in front headlock, it would be just like the quarter Nelson we use to change position and go for like triangle. All right. Now that I have him here, I can elevate my hips, knee cut through, and then I can come all the way around. All right. And now I'm on the other side. Okay. So one more time. He gets the underhook. Now this could be used for, now I'm like a little bit late, or sometimes like I just don't feel like I can near side underhook the back. So I go overhook, head pressure, put it down on the mat, heavy pressure. I tripod up. Even if he's holding on to my feet now, I should be able to slide through. All right, and then I lay my hand on the back of his head, step all the way around. And now I'm through his underhook. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That, who teaches that is that Neil, what's it, Neil Mickelson, the guy in Las Vegas? the filthy guy with the tattoos.
Melanson?
Yeah, he loves this.
Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't say I love this. You know, I definitely like the near underhook better because you put your opponent flat. Like, you know, Noah, like for example, if I'm rolling with Noah and he has an underhook on me and I have an overhook, I'm still at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
You know? So even with that 3/4 Nelson, he can scoop underneath my hips. And now because I've locked my hands this way, I'm very susceptible to being rolled this way now, you know, if he can get underneath me at least. So I definitely like the near underhook stuff a little better. And I like this next move we're going to do is going to be optimal, okay? So same thing.
Could you set it like, or Noah, maybe because you like the darts, like from that 3/4 position, like if he tries to come back into you, you could go right into a darts, no?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, half guard's always a place, like a bottom half guard's always a place where you can get yourself in Darce trouble.
That's why posture is so important.
Yeah, and really anytime you go for an underhook, any type of underhook, you know what I mean? It's just the more control, the less dangerous it is. So let's look at the most, like where the most dangerous underhook I can go for would be from here, from half guard, or from not half guard, from side control. Just regular side control. I can just go for this. I can just go here, boom, and get myself into. Now, like mostly if someone does that against me, they're gonna get darks. But if I do that against someone else, I'm probably gonna get out and get up into my half guard game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just like the experience.
Because I'm Noah and I'm so great at
I'm just saying. Just like
And I'm
it.
Noah, and my
We're
arms
the
are
world
9
population.
feet long.
Yeah, exactly.
Against some people, I just get the underhook and then boom, they're right in the saddle.
All right, so last thing we're going to go over is going to be the body lock, okay? So we've been working the body lock a lot here. Noah loves the body lock with those long arms. But it can also be used to counter the underhook, okay? So essentially, instead of just going for the near underhook, we're going to go all the way through and get a body lock. We're going to use the body lock to put him on his back. And then once we get his back on the mat, we're going to post on our head, tripod up, and pummel the legs through it. Okay? All right. So just do one more. So now he gets the underhook. Okay, I'm going to crunch the underhook. Again, look at my head. My head is right over top his shoulder. Okay? So now from here, once I get this, I'm going to go ahead and lock my hands and drive Noah back to the mat. Okay, so I have the body lock here. Now I'm going to post on my head. I'm going to come up on both toes. So I'm putting a lot of pressure in. And then I'm going to pull my legs in. And then I can go right from out. Or I can come over to side control. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So one more time. He gets the underhook. I come over. I get the body lock. I put him on his back. I come up on my head. I come up on the bottom of my feet. I pummel through. If I can pummel through right from now, that's great. Especially if I can get it with his elbows out like that. Okay? If his elbows are on the inside, okay, it's probably best that I go back to me on belly. All right? And then, I look to keep those hips facing the other way from there. All right? So, that's a lot of countering the underhook, but very beneficial to learn because if the guy's in bottom underhook, he's either playing a knee shield game, right, or he's looking for leg locks, he's looking for triangles. He may be looking for headlock control so he can come out and get on to like front headlock, or he's going to be looking for underhook and deep half guard positions, you know? So dealing with that knee shield is like just one facet of the game. Dealing with that underhook is going to be another facet, you know? So getting good at those three. So the first one was we always want to shut down that underhook with like a thumb block, it's like a thumb block that you would use if you were in under overs, right? But we're thumb blocking right in his armpit, and we're kind of pushing him away from us. And then we're getting our near underhook, pulling him through, posting on our head, and then kind of knee cutting all the way across the other side. Okay, we can also use that quarter Nelson position where he comes up for the underhook, we quarter Nelson, and then we can knee cut through and come to the other side. Or we can body lock, right? So ideally, I would say that, like, if you feel that you can hit the 3-quarter Nelson, you know, maybe use that as, like, you know, either try it first or use it as your last resort and look for the near underhook and the body lock first, okay? Because they're going to be your more controlling passes, because you put your opponent flat on the ground, and on one side you have an underhook and you have gravity on your side, okay?
Yep.
So I hope that helps out a little bit.
Yeah, so I got a question. So if you pummel back in and you get the underhook, can you just go to the body lock then? For your
Well, if you pummel back in, I guess you could, but I would say your best bet would be a crossface.
Okay.
So if he comes up and you pummel back in and you get the underhook, I would say go for that crossface, put him flat, and then pass from there. Because as far as passes go, that crossface with the underhook,
Right.
and like coming up on the balls of your feet, that's going to be one of the most crushing passes we can do, you know?
Okay.
Whereas the body lock, I would say you can use the body lock, but I would say it's not as good as the crossface underhook.
Because they have their upper body. With their upper body, like, it takes an extra move to get past. But if, you know, as you're passing the lower body, you already have the upper body pinned, it's going to be a lot harder for him to recover.
Okay.
So it's probably more about recovery than it is about
your opponent's recovery.
Yeah. It's more about your opponent's recovering than it is about anything else, because, like, when you're finishing the body lock, well, obviously with the body lock, you're pinning the hips, and then you're climbing up to pin the upper body when you finish. You know what I mean? Like, if you pass with the crossface already, you already have that next part finished.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Cool. Yeah. So good, guys. So a little different look of things than what we've kind of been going over, you know, a little bit. But I've been trying to work on my passing a good bit, and I think it's going to open up my game a lot. You know, I always like to go to the back, and you know, leg locks are always there when you're passing like that, and you know, just getting to a place where you can pass and just pin your opponent down, you know, from a control perspective is huge, you know, and then you can focus on your breath for a little bit and you know, slow your breathing down and submit your opponent. All right. So I think we have, let's see how.
Like
7:54. So
calling a day.
yeah, do you guys have anything else? Any other questions or anything?
No, that was good, because like it seems like when we used to do jiu-jitsu for real, like I can get into half guard, and then sometimes I get stuck, right? Because I can't get that hard crossface, so
Yeah.
underhook. So this was good for me.
Yeah.
Great, man. What about those breathing exercises? Do you guys like the breathing exercises?
Yeah, I like them. I'm on day 22 of yoga, which The only thing that's really helped is my breath because like I don't feel one bit more flexible.
Well, you got to think like from look at it from the other perspective too. Is like how long have you been tight? You know what I mean?
Since I was like 16.
Yeah, like years essentially for most people. So just like a little practice every day isn't going to cure years of I don't know what the term would be, like just years of a problem, But like a couple weeks and then like a month and then a month and a half of constant work, and that's gonna help a lot. I've been trying to do a lot of yoga too, and like I still can't get my heels on the floor in down dog.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's just from years and years of like doing martial arts and not stretching out my hamstrings properly, not stretching out my hips properly. So it'll take a long time, but it's gonna be more beneficial than like not doing anything.
Yeah, no, logically I understand, but like
Yeah, it's still a pain in the ass.
you just feel like, well, why can't it just loosen up, right?
I know, dude. It's all about like we always make a joke. The yoga instructor that comes in and does yoga with us on Wednesdays, she uses the term release probably like at least 50 times while we're doing jiu-jitsu. But it's true. It's like, you feel that tightness, and the only thing that you can do is like breathe through it and, let it release and then go from there,
Yep.
So, Mike, do you have anything, buddy?
Nope, not right now. Just taking it all in.
Man. All right, buddy. Well, I hope those help a little bit. Let me know how those breathing exercises treat you. And when we get back to class, we'll for sure go back over all this new knowledge that we've been studying. We've been trying to be on it for you guys. That way, when we have some new material when we come back, just stuff that we've been working on ourselves. So. Theory into the match silence.
All right, guys.
All right, fellas. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, dude. It's great seeing you guys.
You too.
Again, we'll be on here Saturday at like 10:30.
All right.
See you, fellas.
Peace, dudes. Good to see you. I guess I did take point. Huh?
Yeah, dude.